Hi, in this video we're going to take a really quick look at how to use the Go To Sections option in Forms in order to direct respondents to different sections of questions based on an initial question that you start with some different options. You might find this quite useful in a lot of different scenarios, and I'm not going to go into a lot of detail today in the different ways you can use this, but if you were to search using Go To Sections in Forms, you'll find loads of great videos on YouTube from other teachers who've used it for all sorts of clever purposes, like creating kind of story adventure games, or creating, I guess, kind of self-checking assessments where pupils will complete a question, and then if they get the answer incorrect, it will take them to another section with some remedial information and then let them attempt it again before it allows them to move on. So you can do all sorts of really clever stuff, as well as just making it easier for you to create a single form that directs users maybe in different year groups to a different set of responses. If it's a survey, for example, for your whole school, you might want to ask slightly different questions to different year groups. So we've just made a kind of really simple sample survey form here, and I've started it off with a multiple choice question which allows the respondent to define whether they're an S1, 2, S3, 4, S5, 6, or whatever those options might be in your case. The important thing is it has to be a multiple choice, or it has to be a checkbox, because these are the two options that allow you to then define which section you would go to. The important thing is that whatever questions we want to ask now, we need to put them into sections. So, for example, at the side here where it says sections, I'm going to click Add Section, and this is now section 2, and I would maybe call this section S1, 2. So I've just finished adding a couple of other sections there. So we have our initial section here, which has our class discriminator. And then after that, we have sections for each of the different groups. And then within each of these sections here, we might add individual questions. So I'll just call this S1, 2 question, and so on. And so now we have a question in our S1 to 2 section. We may want to create different questions, or we probably would if we were asking recipients to go to a different area of the form. But if you were using the same starting question as a kind of a basis, remember you can actually duplicate that question, and then you could just drag that into your other sections. So we could just duplicate that question a few times and make a copy of it in each of our different sections, and likewise we could then change it if we needed to. So we now have our survey. We have our first question, which will allow us to define where people go, and then we have a section for each of those groups of people. Now, at the moment, if I was to preview that form, it will look like this. It would show me that first question, and then it would say next, and it will just take me to the S1, 2 bit, and then if I go next again, it will take me to the S3, 4, and then the S4, 5, 6, which is not what I want. So what I need to do is, at this point here, I want to say for each of these responses where I want people to go, because currently it's saying after section 1, they'll just go to the next section and so on. So in here, I'm going to just quickly click on the wee set of dots at the bottom for options, then go to section based on answer, and you'll see that I can now, for respondents that choose this answer, tell them which section to go to. So that would go to this section, that would go to this section, and that would go to this section. Now, what we also want to make sure is that for recipients or respondents who go to this first section, so for example S1, 2, it will take them here, but after they've completed that, you can see it currently says continue to next section, so it would still then take them on to complete the other sections of the form, which I don't want them to. So what we need to make sure is that we click on here and we change that for each of these. Let's move this out of the way. Try that again. We click on that and we change that to submit form. And that means that after people who've gone to this section have finished the questions, it will then just take them to submit the form. It won't take them on to complete the other sections that you wanted other groups of people to complete. And so now, having done that, we should find that people will, when they go into the form, if we have a preview, if we click on, say, S3, 4, and then next, it will take them just to that S3, 4 question or group of questions. And when they've done that, they can click submit, and that's the form finished. It won't take them to complete the other sections. I think I may have actually inadvertently selected the wrong section here, but you get the idea. So if we just go back to the editing view, we can see how that's laid out. And I think it's quite straightforward. If you do have any questions, you can obviously give us a wee shout, and also there's loads of tutorials online to have a look at to expand your knowledge of this, but hopefully you found that useful.